back to the Irish Mags Show, episode 108. Only 72 episodes away to be in line with the darts that have been taking place recently. We're nothing but topical here on the Irish Mags Show. I'm Paul, your host. I am joined by the dynamic duo, a strike force probably more lethal than Voltamati and Wissa at the moment, but I'd wonder which one has more potential. It is, of course, Krisho and Alan. How are we doing, lads? Krisho, no dry January for you?
No.
On camera.
No, a bit of desperados, but that's just an ironic thing because we're not desperate anymore. So I decided to celebrate how well we're doing lately. So, hooray, Newcastle. Cheers.
I thought you might have been leaning towards the old South American drink because you were having pints over the Christmas with Miggy Almiron or something.
I thought he was going to start singing Desperado there. That's what I was really worried
I
about.
was just about to, Al. I was just about to. No, look, I've been banned. I got a letter sent by the Almiron family. I'm not allowed to talk to him or his wife or anybody, frankly.
That's a restraining order, my friend. That's not
Pretty
from the
much.
family. That's the police.
Yes, pretty much. I'm not allowed to speak about him or talk about him or anymore.
So that's Almiron, Nick Pope, Jeff Hendrick. The list is building.
Yeah.
A moratorium.
As long as it's not you guys. As long as it's not you guys, then I'm all
Not yet.
right? No.
Not yet. Yeah. I mean, it's only the 6th of January at the time of recording, so there's plenty of time in this year for us to get you cancelled. It is our first podcast of 2026, lads, and already Newcastle United have played one match of this calendar year, and it went pretty well. And there's no time to waste. We are recording the night before the Leeds game, so we literally have another game coming up, which we will, of course, be previewing and tying into what we thought of that performance against Crystal Palace. Before we get to that, though, lads, seeing as it's a brand new year, I don't want to say new us because there's no such thing. We are who we are and we are what we are. But we said we'd have a little chat about our predictions for the year 2026. Now, Alan will remember, Krisho probably not because, short-termism, etc. Many pints over the Christmas. Literally about a year ago, lads, we recorded our predictions for 2025. I think we did 3 predictions each. We'll do 2 or 3 again for this year. But before we jump on to this year, lads, I think it would be a good idea or probably a terrible idea because we'll be outed for our lack of knowledge and awareness on the real world to look back at what each of us predicted all the way back when at the beginning of 2025. I listened back to the episode. It actually felt weird because we were chatting about Sean Longstaff. We were chatting about Alexander Isak. It was just a different time, really. It's only a year ago, but it might as well have been 10 years ago with all this happening. Alan Williamson, can you remember any of your predictions from last year?
I predicted we were going to win a cup. I know factually I said we'd win something, and we did because I'm always right with stuff like that.
Right, we'll start in the positive. Alan Williamson not only predicted, Krisho, that Newcastle would win the Carabao Cup, bearing in mind this was this time last year, so it was in January. So that would have been, what stage would that have been?
Before the Arsenal. Before the
quarterfinals, wasn't it? The quarterfinals.
Yeah. Because you had booked you said it live on the pod. I listened to it earlier. You had booked your flights and hotel after the Brentford game, which is the quarterfinal, I believe. So prior to us having 2 legs against Arsenal in the Carabao Cup semi-final, Alan Williamson, he jumped out there, Krisho, and he predicted that Newcastle would win the Carabao Cup, and he predicted that we would beat Liverpool in the final. So I can tell you that's one of few correct predictions from last year, but we'll give Alan Williamson a round of applause.
Thank you.
Throwing up shit at the wall.
That's it.
We won't. Yeah, if you throw enough, well, I tell you, there's a bit of shit on this list that I have from last year. We're going to throw it all against the wall in this episode.
Lovely.
We won't talk about this year's Carabao Cup just yet. We'll maybe wait for predictions in case that pops up. But Krisho, can you remember any of your predictions from last year?
No, I definitely can't. No, I definitely can't.
Right, Alan, I'll start with one of Krisho's predictions from last year. Krisho predicted that we would finish 3rd in the league and that we would give Liverpool a run for their money up until the last few weeks of the season and that we might just kind of pip down and finish 3rd, but comfortably seemed to be Krisho's confidence in that.
Oops.
Now, and like on paper, it's not too bad, but if you think about where we actually finished, which was 5th, and if you think about the fact that it happened on the last day of the season, and if you think about the fact that we lost to Everton on the last day of the season and nearly threw it away, only for Emi Martinez to hand us a gift from Aston Villa, which meant that we limped into 5th and into the Champions League. Yeah, I don't think it's as close as it looks, Christian.
No, really wasn't.
We were playing really well when we were making those predictions. We were
Yeah,
on top.
We
like,
were indeed.
Yeah.
I tell you, we were playing so well. We had won, I think, 5 games in a row. It was when we went on that kind of, I think it was a 9-game kind of a run.
9-game win streak.
We started the episode literally saying Newcastle are fucking class. And to be fair, I think it's fair to say we were. Unfortunately, we talked a lot about how Alexander Isak was the greatest striker on the planet, and how basically
was being the prime word in that sentence.
Was yes, past tense. As I said at the start of the episode, a lot can change in a year, lads.
Jesus.
So, Christian, unfortunately, it's a big red X on that one. Damn. But don't worry, because there's more incorrect ones to come.
Ah.
I'm going to give you one of mine, lads.
Okay.
I don't know what kind of mood I was in. I think I was probably like sobering up after the Christmas of 2024, coming into the new year. And I was probably in a bit of the depths of depression because my prediction was that if we didn't get the Champions League, Bruno Guimaraes would leave.
Oof.
Now, it was obviously kind of contingent on the fact that if we didn't get the Champions League, which we now know that we did, obviously I was wrong. Thankfully, I was wrong. It was not something I wanted to happen. And as I was listening to my 1 year younger self talk about it, I was basically kind of looking at Bruno in the prime of his career and thinking that he might have some aspirations. You know, if there's a bigger, I would want to be a much bigger club. I was more thinking about Spain. Yeah. Maybe the big 2 over there, if he continued his form and all that. Or even maybe Manchester City could come calling because it was around the time that they were missing Rodri. But I very much was focused on if we didn't get Champions League. Thanks be to God we did. It never came up, and we know Bruno loves the club. But
I mean, he loves it, right? His family love being there. He's got 2 young kids. I don't see him going anywhere, lads, for the next 2 or 3 years. I really don't. Till they're a little bit older, maybe, because it seems like his wife likes the place as well. You know, he has home.
Yeah, and I tell you what, his dad loves the place.
Yeah, I was going to say, his dad owns the place.
Cormac Poland was taking snaps with him again over the weekend in the stack, I think. So he's arguably the most famous man in Newcastle at this stage, Bruno's dad. And fair play to him. So thankfully, that was an incorrect prediction by me, but it was obviously kind of a, if this happens, this might happen. Sticking with that, however, I did go on to try and bring myself back to positive mentality. And I did say that we would qualify for the Champions League, but by finishing 5th. So it was a correct prediction because we were talking at the time. The facts out there was that it was a 90% certainty that the 5th or the extra coefficient Champions League place would go to England or to the Premier League. And I predicted that we would snap it up. I wasn't confident of the 4th. And obviously, in hindsight, as we said, we literally limped into 5th. So it'll be interesting to see if that scenario presents itself again in terms of those 5 places. Alan, I don't know if you know anything about that. Like, is it too soon to tell, or is it just assumed that those places would be available?
England are fairly guaranteed to nearly always have that spot, so long as the clubs in England do okay in the Champions League. So if we get to the knockout stages, it's all but guaranteed that England will get another coefficient spot, as in 5th place will be a Champions League spot again.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay, good. So that's something to cling on to, even though at the time of recording, we're a little bit away from that. However, we might be at the start of a little run, which we'll come to in a while. Alan, any other memories of your predictions from last year?
No, I honestly can't.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go with this one because it is quite topical, and you could argue not much has changed in a year. Because Christian, Alan's first prediction on the show last year was that we would have official announcement from the Newcastle United board executives that Newcastle would be building a new stadium.
Yikes.
And obviously years away from moving into it, but Alan's prediction for 2025 that we would have the official news confirmed that we were moving into a new stadium. Where are we with that prediction currently, Alan?
I am currently removing it from this year's list that I'm about to call out. Whoops.
Wow. Yeah. Look, we said it. If you throw enough shit at the wall, eventually,
it'll eventually stick.
Keep guessing every year. If you do it every year for the next 60 years,
we could have a podcast about what's going on with the stadium and what isn't going on with the stadium. There's so many factors to the decision around this. It's mind-boggling. that there's no way they're just going to come out and release a press release and say, yes, we'll have a new stadium in 2029. No, 2032, 2033 maybe.
I don't know. I mean, what do we
I think
sorry.
Oh, sorry, Alan was speaking.
The earliest work can start on the stadium is 2029 because
of the Euros.
St. James's has 5 games in the Euros, so they can't start work on the stadium until after that, which is in 2028. So it will not start until minimum the end of the season in 2028. So
they've got until then. They've got until then to release a statement about what the hell they're doing.
What they'll do is they'll eventually say, we are going to make a new stadium. We will release plans in 2-3 years' time. They'll just give them enough time to cover their own arses and tick all the boxes. But yeah, I don't think we'll hear anything too soon about that.
Yeah, it was weird. Like the Eddie Howe said in his press conference that like he'd 99.9% not be here. When
I'm going to be honest, no manager that's in the league at the minute will be still the same team when we're in a new stadium. Doesn't matter how much they win or what they do, nobody will still be there. You're talking 10, 15 years down the line.
We'll still be here doing Irish Bikes Show every week.
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
We shall not be moved.
I'll be 60. Jesus. 60. Holy crap.
Same Chris show.
Hang on, I need a drink. Oh, Jesus Christ. Hang on.
That definitely won't change anyway. Right, let's go jump into another prediction. Chris show.
Yeah.
Any recollections at all? No, nothing triggers.
Was it something about signing somebody or selling somebody?
Kind of the latter. So I can tell you that your prediction was about Alexander Isak.
Yeah.
However, it wasn't what transpired. You predicted that Alexander Isak would undoubtedly sign a new contract at the club. He loves working with Eddie Howe. He loves playing for Newcastle. He's in form. He's enjoying his football. As we talked about it more, it was kind of, again, hinging towards, well, if we get Champions League or maybe even Europa League. But it was, you were very much of the opinion. I think we all were that, especially if we got Champions League.
Nobody saw this coming.
I would have put my hat on it. Nobody saw this coming.
You didn't see this coming, right? There's no way you saw this coming.
Nobody did.
Nobody, yeah. Like in terms of what actually transpired, Chris, it's not, at the time, my main kind of thing would have been he's enjoying football here. If we get Champions League, he wants to go back play Champions League with Newcastle. He's the main man, lead us into Europe. For me, the biggest reason for it not to happen was the fee. I never thought someone would come along with the required fee to get him out of the club. But the biggest thing I never saw coming was that it would be him driving the move.
Yeah, I
don't think anybody would have seen that coming. I mean, there was never a sniff of it. If you think back to that time, you would never have thought that in 5 months, 6 months time.
I thought he went to Eddie Howe's house at the weekend to hang out after the matches and was best friends with his sons. I thought they were the closest that you could as close you could be with a manager. It's a shocker. But I mean, like, don't honestly, because we can't start the new year talking about Isak. Jesus Christ, God help me. He's half the player he is now, even when he comes back. I mean, for your own leg, your own tendon to be so tight and groin to be so tight that it fractures your fibula. Jesus, he's in bits. Honestly, he's physically not well.
I knew you were going to do that.
I light him up.
It is crazy. Like, I think I put out a tweet after he left and we signed Wissa, and I said, wouldn't it be lovely if Wissa scored more goals than Isak? Or I might even have said, I bet he does, or something to that effect. I mean, obviously, between Isak's injury and him playing shite, counteracted by the fact that Wissa was also out, but obviously he's back and has already picked up a couple of goals. Was unlucky at the weekend with that offside decision, especially compared to the one that was given for Liverpool in that fucking Fulham game. Ridiculous. But on that prediction, Alan, like when Isak left Newcastle, would you have predicted that it would go this badly, or did you think he was going to be a superstar for Liverpool?
I thought he was going to be a superstar for Liverpool. In my head, when Liverpool made the signings they did this year, I was like, oh Jesus Christ, Liverpool have the league sewn up for the next 10 years. Nobody's going to even be able to lay a glove on them, and it just hasn't worked. Don't get me wrong, Isak will come good. I don't think he'll actually come to the levels of Newcastle levels at Liverpool, because I think Ekitike is just going to keep getting better and better and better and better, and he will just surpass whatever Isak can do. Ekitike will be a better player. So I think Isak will, in 2 years' time, end up at Real Madrid or Barcelona for 70 million euros. And we will be looking back on the Alexander Isak Newcastle to Liverpool transfer as one of the worst Premier League signings in the history of the football, because it'll just be such a waste of money. They did not need both of them.
Well, we robbed them blind with Andy Carroll.
Absolutely.
You know, we robbed them blind with Isak. So they can moan all they like. I was talking to a Liverpool fan over Christmas, and he's like, they said, like Alan was saying, they really hope he comes back stronger and much fitter, because a lot of Liverpool fans didn't realize he was so weak looking and so skinny looking, you know. And I was thinking, hang on a second, you didn't realize that? But they said like that they really hope he does come back, but they have to say that it's been one of the worst transfers probably in the last 2 decades for Liverpool. And I was like, I was trying not to crack a smile, but I couldn't help it. I was like, lol, we'll spend the money now in January. Supposedly we've 300 million for January in the summer. So let's spend 100 million That's one of my predictions. Spend money. A lot of it.
Oh, save it for the podcast. Oh, crap. It's interesting. As you're speaking about it, it triggered me there, because I was listening to a podcast, Totally Football Show. They're doing a few kind of like, they look back, you know, they do a couple of episodes where they look back. One of the spotlight topics was Fernando Torres. And if you remember, you know, Fernando Torres left Liverpool to go to Chelsea for 50 million, which at the time was huge money. And I think it's fair to say he kind of flopped at Chelsea a couple of moments, but it's interesting that Liverpool, it's come back around. Liverpool fans are probably at the time, even though they're disappointed to lose Torres, he was class for them. He was a little bit on the decline. Now, Isak shouldn't be on the decline apart from his fitness. And, well, yeah, he's playing shite. But that's kind of come full circle now, Liverpool fans. So, tough shit. There you go. Karmazovic, etc. Okay. Sticking with transfers, I had a prediction this time last year, and it was, I don't want to say it was a little bit out there, but it was just something I kind of expected to happen. And it was to do with Lewis Hall and Tino Livramento at the time. So Alan is nodding, he remembers. So my prediction at the time, it wasn't really that any of them would leave, but I was predicting that both of them would be linked with massive moves, either, either throughout the end of the season or in particular in the summer. Now, if you cast your mind back, in that January window, Andy Robertson wasn't doing great for Liverpool, and they kind of, there was a couple of links popped up that they were interested in Lewis Hall as their long-term left-back solution. And then he got injured in February, I think, and we kind of lost him for most of the rest of the season, so that kind of died out. And literally then, within weeks, and it's still going on, lads, a year later, Tino Livramento was linked with Man City, and he still continues to be. So I'm fairly happy with those picks. I actually predicted that even somebody like a Real Madrid could look at someone like Livramento if they didn't sign Trent Alexander-Arnold. Just again, because of how good he is, his age profile, his versatility, you know, his potential, like everything. So I never wanted either of them to leave, and I never really predicted that they would, but it was more about how good those two players are and that interest. And I thought it's good now to link it into where we are now, the beginning of the January transfer window. Now, City are already about to spend 65 million on Semenyo. They're also linked with Mark Gay today as we record, but they're still repeatedly linked with Livramento. And I know we talked about it on the little transfer show we did last week, but I don't know, Alan, does like, if Mark Gay was to arrive in City, do you think that kind of wards off the whole Livramento thing, in addition to how much we would charge for him?
I think so. But then I also seen a link for Livramento to Arsenal today for £40 million.
What?
Here, come on now.
I swear to God, the Football London right now, we're talking about TalkSport talking about it, and I went, I wonder how much, and he went, and for about £40 million, and I went, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, we signed that man during a knee injury for £35 million. He's now a full England international, one of the best young fullbacks on the planet. If we do not get £80 million for him, there's something seriously wrong. I honestly think if Gahey goes to City, that stops them coming in for him this season. Next season is a different story altogether.
Yeah.
Like, they could have a fresh war chest to go. But to be honest, to come the summer, we could have 6 or 7 players lined up that could come in and we go, look, Tino, this is what we're going to do. We are planning to try and win this league ASAP. It's all about where we're going to go.
interesting, yeah, because we talked about it last week, how he hasn't yet signed a contract and maybe keeping options open and all that. Obviously, Gahey and Livermento don't play in the same position. That's not really the reason, but it was more about if they're spending this much on Semenyo and this much on Gahey. Now, Gahey would probably be quite good value considering his contract is up at the end of the season. Which makes you wonder, would we ever go back into it? But
it's what you were talking about with one of your predictions from last year about we were mentioning about players that might leave if we didn't get the Champions League, right? Tino might be one of those players. Him and his agent might be thinking, look, if we don't get the Champions League this year, I'm perfectly well within my right to go to a Champions League football team that they'd get it.
If they can afford it.
Yeah, it would be a lot about it. And interestingly, when we talked about it last year, when I was talking about this, Alan, you were saying we'd want to double our money because we spent 35 million on him or whatever it was. I think we talked about Hall was 28 and Tina was 35, something like that. And at the time, Alan, you were very much fair enough. If we double our money on it, fine.
Yeah.
Obviously now you're probably expecting to more than double it when you're saying kind of 80 million. Because he's obviously improved a lot, England international, etc.
Genuinely, if you turned around to me and said, how much should we be asking? 100 million.
Mm-hmm.
Why shouldn't we ask for 100 million for him?
Yeah.
Like,
I agree.
If Jack Grealish is worth 100 million, so's Tina.
Yeah. Oh, well, absolutely. I mean, Jack Grealish is not worth 100 million. I think we can all agree on that. And the other thing as well, I mean, it's very early days, very premature, but we might have one of the other best young right backs in the league who isn't one.
Yeah, who's an right back?
In Lewis Miley, who's just playing some of his best football we've ever seen him play. And granted, it's only a couple of games and we have to keep realistic for him, but it's wild to think we've suddenly, if that didn't happen, if we hadn't tried Miley there, or more importantly, if you hadn't shown how good he is to go in and play there, we could be in the market for a right back in this month, but it looks like we probably won't have to.
Yeah, he's got more space. He's not under as much pressure. He's got more space out on the right wing / right back, full back, and he's able to play the ball a little bit without having to kind of get it and try and turn and move with Bruno in the midfield. Not to say he's not able to do that. He is, because he's got very quick feet. You ever see that kind of skill that he does where he knocks it between his 2 feet?
The little 2 feet. Yeah, he did it about 6 times in that Palace game, and obviously it led to he had 100% pass completion rate in that game, and had the most passes and obviously highest pass percentage in the entire of both teams. I agree with you. I think that little bit extra space and time helps. But even at that, there was a point where he was down near the corner flag and he still did that little trick and he got away from 2 players. So it's almost like there's a little bit more confidence there, and the more confident he gets, the better he seems to play. So yeah, I mean, Eddie Howe now has a predicament of, do I just have to keep playing Lewis Miley a right back? And what do I do with Tino Livramento, who might want to go to Man City because I've got Lewis Hall on the other side? It's all kind of moving. And I think this time last year, we wouldn't have predicted Lewis Miley contending for a starting spot in the Newcastle team at right back.
No, definitely not.
We'd be some serious Nostradamus if we predicted
Did we get any of the other predictions right? Did any of us, or was it just
there's only kind of 2 more. Well, it's 1 more really, because you both kind of, so I think Alan kind of made a point, and Chris, you kind of said yours was similar enough. It was transfer based. It wasn't right. So the final prediction that Alan led with was that Newcastle United won't follow their previous model in terms of spending, where they were spending 50 million plus, Harvey Barnes, Sandro Tonali, obviously Isaac, and that the model would be more towards the Lewis Hall, Tino Livramento price range, the 25-30 million, in terms of like seeking value, looking abroad, being smarter. And Alan, you finished that with quite confidently saying, and there's no way we're going to break our transfer record in the summer.
We weren't anticipating Isaac leaving.
No, of course not.
That's my
one wrong prediction leads to another, sadly, because it's all a domino effect. But you're right. We never expected that. And I don't think anyone would have expected us to have to go and not only break the transfer record that we had previously, but you use that 50 million as the number of that's one range of player and 30 being the other. Brought Elanga for 55 million, brought in Wissa for 55 million. Thereabouts on both of them. And obviously Voltemade. Of all the transfers we made, arguably I think the best signing has been Malik Chow.
Yeah.
And he was in Alan's range, literally 30 million. So we'll give you a little bit of correctness in terms of like, where's the value?
Yeah.
But looking back, obviously, the Isaac situation triggered everything. But a question for you, Alan, is: do you still feel we should be going back towards that model. Considering now, we sold Isak for 125 million. That's created all this PSR room. We're in the Champions League. We're earning all this cash. Do you still think we should revert back to the 30 million player?
I think we will do a bit of a hybrid where we'll go with a bigger name, maybe a 50 million pound signing, and 3 30 to 50 million pound signings. Whereas we went out and dropped 110 million on 2 players and then added in Baltamade for another 70 million. Like, I don't think we're going to do that. I could see us dropping another 50 million on maybe another winger or another striker, depending on what happens with Asula. But, I could see another big name come through that door soon.
I mean, like, here's one for you, right? And it's still early days. But Igor Thiago at Brentford he's a second. I'm not talking about signing him, but I make a point in terms of who he is, right? No. He's now second top scorer in the league behind Haaland, who's on a bit of a dry spell. I think he's nearly second in the FBL points because I just brought him into the team. He is, yeah. Far too late. Brentford signed him from Club Brugge for 30 million. So that's that range, right? There's loads of other examples we could look at in terms of signings in the Premier League. You look at Wissa originally moving in, how much he would have cost. Look at Semenyo. I still think there is so much room to operate. I think we panicked bought in the summer because of the entire situation.
Yeah.
I think Elanga, we talked about, it was meant to link up with Isak, so that situation got a bit screwed up. And then we suddenly went in for not one but two in Wissa and Baltamade, when obviously we wouldn't have done either, I would suspect, if Isak had stayed. Or maybe we'd still gone in for Wissa. But if Isak was still there, we wouldn't have been as desperate, and Brentford wouldn't have played hardball, and we might have got him out for 35. Do you know what I mean? So I think you're right. It wasn't a bad prediction for sure, especially when you couldn't see it coming. But I still think there's truth in terms of there's still better value out there.
Absolutely,
for some players. And I think looking at it now, hindsight's a wonderful thing. But 55 million for Elanga has proved to be a woeful waste of money. When you look at other players that joined Premier League clubs, you look at someone like Ndiaye at Everton, who's absolutely, tearing up the league. There's so many of those players. Kevin Shade at Brentford, not same positions, but just I still think we need to be looking around. Even if we have loads of money, we don't just need to be attracted to just big names for the sake of it. But again, we're not predicting that, are we?
No.
Hold that thought, because we're going to take a little break. And when we come back, it's time to make even bigger fools of ourselves, but we won't learn it for a year's time, because we're gonna have a go at making our 2026 predictions, because lads, out of 8-9 predictions last year, I think we got 2 or 3 right. So let's try and better that. Yeah, that's all right. Anything better will do. Don't go anywhere.
The Irish Mag Show is proudly sponsored by The Half Volley and FSH Training Limited. The Half Volley provide high-quality, customizable clothing and merchandise catering for all sports teams, businesses, social clubs and events, including, of course, the Irish Mags, with a new range available over on their website, thehalfvolley.com. FSH Training Limited offer a wide variety of training across the fields of fire safety, first aid and manual handling. All of their trainers are frontline emergency service workers with extensive instructing experience, ensuring realistic, professional training. All of their course options and details are available on their website, fshtraining.ie.
Welcome back to the Irish Mags Show. We've just looked back on our 2025 predictions from January last year, which on the grand scheme of things didn't really go as expected, but we weren't too bad, lads. There was elements of wisdom in there. And we're not really known for our wisdom, so we'd hate to disappoint. But speaking of wisdom, infinite wisdom, Krisho, we're going to kick things off as terribly as we possibly can by asking you for your predictions for the year 2026. So obviously it could be about the season currently that we're in, which will obviously end at the end of May, but your prediction could be anything you think will happen in this calendar year with Newcastle.
Okay. So one is just
give us one.
Right. Okay. Just give you one. Right. There'll be a new striker signed in January, and just with kind of bracket, Elanga goes back to Notts Forest in a deal for Anderson in the summer. But that's it, right?
Okay.
And I know who the new striker is that we're going to sign in January. I can name it.
If you say it's Samu, I'm going to laugh at you.
It's Strand Larson. from Wolves.
Absolutely not.
I'm telling you now.
Absolutely not.
There you go. Okay.
Well, I'll tell you why this is interesting to me, Krisha. Obviously, there's still active talk about Will Osula leaving. Was there a Premier League club linked with them as well, or did I dream that?
Villa were linked to
Villa.
Villa were
Yeah.
linked with them. Mad. We love doing a bit of dealings with Villa. Fair play to us. So it's not mad to think that we might sign a striker because of all the game load that we have, and you know, maybe there's a temptation eventually from Eddie Howe to not play Baltimore as a striker or play two of them. And if you're going to play two strikers, you definitely need a third in 90 minutes, 3 games a week. With the Strand Larson one, what you've triggered in my mind is, so in the last 24 hours, I've seen us linked with Strand Larson, and I've seen us linked with Matthias Mane, the young chap. I think he's only 17, 18 at Wolves. Looks very good.
Class.
Scored for Wolves when they finally won their first game of the season. Hats off to you, Wolves. Well done. But this triggered me and reminds me of, there was a time when we were linked. Now, it's not the same club, but same city. We were linked with Nico Barella of Inter Milan. Whenever it was summer. What was it? Summer 24.
Yeah.
Because our scout Steve Nixon was apparently spotted in Milan. Smoke screen occurs, and all of a sudden, Sandro Tonali is signing for Newcastle United, which nobody saw coming. So this mightn't be as dramatic as that, but if there's rumors or if our scouts have been spotted at Wolves games or you know, there's activity happening, it could be that people think we're signing Strand Larson and we go for Matthias Mane, or it could be people think we're trying to sign Matthias Mane and Larson might appear.
Right.
Is there any other players that we might fancy? Probably not. All the group players have left.
Yeah.
No.
There you go.
Just for that reason, because there's a little precedent here of smoke screens and, you know, people link us with one player, it's because we're looking at a different one and thinking about, you know, shithousery and antics from our...
Okay, I'll change the prediction. We sign a player from Wolves in January. There you go. There you go. There you go.
Fair.
It's not completely out of the question. I'd be surprised, but I think your trigger point there is Osula would need to leave.
Yeah.
For that to happen from a money perspective, and also what's the point in stocking up, or why would we have Osula then as well, you know? Okay, Alan, any thoughts on that prediction? Is he just completely wrong and it'll never happen?
I can't see us signing Strand Larson, because I can't see Strand Larson coming in agreeing to be third choice striker when he's currently first choice striker. Well, he's second choice at the minute, but like, I can't see him coming to us to be third choice. The Matthias Mane move, I'd absolutely love that. He scored a great goal the weekend, and he just looks like he's a ball of energy. Little lunatic, looks unbelievable. So wouldn't be opposed to that one at all. But can't see the Strand Larson one happening.
They signed Matthias Mane from... I need to look it up here quickly. Was it like Rochdale or someone, or have I dreamt that? I'm fairly sure, lads, that like I don't know where I've dreamt it. Yeah, I'm completely right. Came from Portugal to Rochdale Youths, and then he went to Wolves Youths team. So he was only like, it was a couple of years at Rochdale Youths, and then he went into the Wolves Youth team, and now he's playing Premier League football.
Youth international for England.
We want to see more of those signings, Newcastle as well, please. And we are improving, and we do like signing Irish players. But yeah, the likes of Alabi now could look promising. The chap who's been named on the bench. I think we signed him from Oldham.
Stop talking about him. He's part of my predictions.
Right.
Yes.
Let's segue straight into that, Alan. You go with that one. Tell us your thoughts on Sam Alabi.
Sam Alabi. My prediction about Sam Alabi is that he starts his first game for us by the end of this season, and by middle of next season, he's a serious squad player for us at 17 years of age. Because for all and everything that we hear about this kid, that he is a freak of nature when it comes to football, and the very small bits I've seen of him online, he looks like a 25-year-old playing under 21s football, and he's only 16. It's mental how good he looks. I honest to God think he's going to break into this team very, very quickly. Along with Leo Sharhar, I think he'll come through too, but Sam Alabi is my prediction that he will burst through and be part of our first team squad going forward from maybe February, March-ish. He's been in a couple of squads, but it's only as you're being brought with the squad. I can see him getting a game eventually. Maybe not against Bournemouth in the cup, but if we get through the cup and get a decent next round, I think he could start in the fourth round.
I present to you one obvious barrier to this. And it's, when's the last time Eddie Howe has really done this by choice? Just to go and put that trust in a young player. Like, of all the managers out there, there's a lot of managers, like Liverpool have done it for years. You know, they throw in 16, 17-year-olds. Even Arsenal have done it. There are other examples. Even Man United are doing it now, right? You're Aidan Heaven and, you know, Darren Fletcher's young lad was getting on. Eddie Howe doesn't really take that risk. He doesn't like doing it. He obviously did with Miley, but it was
forced upon him.
You know? Yeah, forced upon him. Do you like? I feel like that is the barrier to this happen. I like, particularly starting him. I just think Eddie Howe would rather start Gordon up front as usual than, or even Alanga up front, than he would to play Sam Alabi.
I honestly think Sam Alabi is going to end up being what we thought Alanga was going to be. Sam Alabi will just take over that spot. He might even become the Murphy replacement.
I mean, they're big boots to fill. Not recently, though, because he's been really poor in the last couple of games. Interesting. See, the thing with Alabi is, you know, because I think I like to keep an eye on like the under-19s, obviously, because we've got like Kyle Fitzgerald down there, who's Irish, and obviously with Murphy and Kyle Heffernan and the boys. But Alabi, he didn't spend a whole lot of time, and like he hasn't played loads for the 19s or whatever, the 21s and stuff. He kind of almost was fast-tracked, which is a great sign. I would just still be surprised if Eddie Howe, unless we're 5-0 up in a fourth FA Cup fourth round against, you know.
That's what I think will happen. We will be 3 or 4-0 up against someone. He'll be brought on to go, all right, we'll give you a run out, and he'll run amok, and Eddie Howe will go, oh shit, I can't not continue to play this guy because he is as good as he's being made out to be. And it'll just snowball from there, where he'll just keep growing in confidence, and it'll get to the point where, yeah, that'll be how it goes.
Wow, and he captained the under-17 England team. What the hell? Wow. Okay.
Well, we also have the Irish under-17 captain in Rory Finneran, just throwing it out there. So look at us stocking up on the old Wonder Kid.
Capitans.
Yeah. Okay, that's a decent prediction. I'll go with my first prediction. It is one for this season. It might be a bit boring, but I think we're gonna go the furthest we've ever gone in the Champions League.
Yes,
as a club this season,
100%.
Which is a bit wild when you think about our current form. But I just think that with that whole big game mentality, we've got a little bit of experience doing it now. You know, having played in cup final, we've got a lot of players who were here the last time. A little bit of luck involved, but I can see us sneaking a quarterfinal or even a semi-final, like until we get to a massive hitter. But it would require a little bit of luck, and what I mean by that is obviously, you know, if we get to let's say if it's the knockout round, that we get a fairly comfortable draw. And then go up against a team close to our level, and by that, you know, you're looking at, I pick teams out of thin air. I don't even know where they are on the table, but like Atalanta or you know, somebody of that ilk. And you know, you're talking a couple of games, some big performances with a relatively healthy squad. It's not crazy to think we could limp our way towards a quarterfinal or semi-final. But then once we come up against one of those big hitters, which is your Bayern Munich or, you know, obviously PSG, maybe again, I think that's where it'll be a time to get off the train and go back and try and get back in there again. Chris Show, am I insane?
No. I mean, if the draw falls a nice way for us, and we are in form, we've got a good couple of home games coming up. I can see momentum building a little bit. I hope I'm not speaking, you know, kind of tempting faith here or anything, but I can see a bit of momentum building. Get everybody as fit as possible. We get a full complement of the squad back in, and we do get a tasty kind of lucky draw. Let's call it a lucky draw, or, you know, a friendly draw in the Champions League. I can see us easily getting to the quarterfinal. Not easily, but I can very much visualize us getting to the quarterfinal. After that, I'm not so sure, Paul. But I don't see why not, because we've been in that top 8 in the Champions League for a good while. I know we're out of it now, but we've been there most of the campaign, so I don't see why we couldn't get to the quarterfinal. So yeah, I'm happy with that prediction. Let's go. Semi-final or quarterfinal, Paul? I'll call you on it.
Fuck it, semi-final.
Good man.
I won't have to really pay the price until a year from now, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Future Paul can deal with that shit. He always manages.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the first round of predictions. Some expected, some not. Let's go back around to Krisho's second prediction.
Right. Okay. My second prediction is that we get to the FA Cup final.
Oh,
Ooh.
samesies.
Yeah, we get to the FA
You
Cup
both have
final.
it. Lovely. That'll speed up time.
And I think it might, it might. Yeah, we get to the FA Cup final, and yeah, we win.
Say it. Do we win it? We win. We have
win.
the same prediction.
We win
We
the
have the
FA
same
Cup.
prediction. Yes.
We win the FA Cup, and we win the FA Cup strangely and weirdly, very comfortably.
Against who?
Against who, Al? It's going to be Birmingham City or Coventry City.
Are you talking about the FA Youth Cup or something?
Yeah.
No, it's going to, no, okay, maybe not. Okay, don't call me on those teams, but somebody from the Championship's going to get to the FA Cup final.
To the FA Cup final?
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
The last time that happened was Millwall, in 2003 or something like that.
Well, look, hey, it's time for predictions, guys. I think somebody kind of from the Championship, they're going to, for some way, they're going to willy their way to the FA Cup final, and they're going to come up against us, and we're going to win 3-0.
So us winning the FA Cup for me is less wild than who you think we're going to beat
Yeah,
in the final.
yeah, that's the maddest part of that statement.
You should have stopped after you would win the FA Cup.
All right,
Alan, what's your take on the FA Cup, seeing as you the same one?
I think we're going to win the FA Cup. I also think there's going to be a Tyne-Wear derby in the semi-finals of the FA Cup.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
and I think we beat Arsenal in the FA Cup final this year.
Wow.
Tyne-Wear derby, FA Cup semi-final, one leg in Wembley, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Chaos.
That would be chaos.
Off to London we go. Off to London we go.
London's
everybody.
calling.
Yeah.
It would be
Be
mental on the streets of London.
Utter chaos.
Panic on the streets of London.
Oh my god.
That would be wild.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I could only top that in terms of what would be better than that? Fuck it, let's meet them in the final.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, right? I think I see them going on a bit of a dip now with all their players in AFCON and stuff, even though they're still grinding out results. But if they're safe and they're Grant, with a healthy squad, they're matching most teams at the moment. So it's not crazy to think they could do a little cup run. And oh god, imagine if it's Sunderland in the cup final.
No,
that'd be
the worst and best day of your life just rolled into one.
Literally,
It'd be the best bad or the worst bad day ever, or the best bad day ever, whatever you want to call it. It'd be awful.
The good thing is that at the very least, we do have to play them in St. James's Park between now and said hypothetical dream finals. So maybe we'd have bragging rights.
Is it St. Patrick's weekend
that we play?
Don't actually know.
Sunderland? I think it
is.
No, is it the 16th of March?
That was the 21st. I think we played them.
Close enough.
Yeah, I think.
Well, that's going to be a right crack, I tell you. To get over it. Just even if you don't have a ticket or anything, just to get over there and be there. 20. Oh, you're right. 21st, just after. Well, Paddy's Day will be in that week. It'll be a Wednesday or something. Or whatever.
I mean, we're going to be drunk for a week no matter what happens.
Yeah,
okay,
no matter what.
fair enough. Okay, let's circle around because
your one now, your second one.
I'll give you my second and final one. I don't really have a third one. This is a big one. I think Eddie Howe won't be the manager of Newcastle next season.
Ooh. Holy crap! What?
It's a wild prediction. It's not something I wouldn't put money on it. But if you were to ask me, what would be a slightly surprising prediction?
And is it that he walks, or is he
taken by England or something?
Let me tell you where my brain is on this one.
Okay.
I think that things are hectic, and they're going to continue being hectic between now and the end of the season in terms of the slog, in terms of the media questions he's getting, in terms of probably discussions with the board. I still think we've a lot, if we go on a mad run and everything goes rosy and we fly up the league and we're comfortably in the Champions League, then you might kind of go, But if it's a real slog, and particularly if we don't get in the Champions League, which therefore we are regressing again, that combined with Thomas Tuchel is going to leave England after the World Cup, no matter what happens, because he's only signed on until after that. Any big club looking for a manager after that World Cup is going to be knocking on Thomas Tuchel's door. Everyone says he's a club manager. Now everyone says Eddie Howe's a club manager. Well, lads, if I'm Eddie Howe and Jason Tindall, after you know, what is it, 4 or 5 grueling seasons at Newcastle with everything that's gone into it and everything that's to come, and England came along and threw, you know, like at one point, Gareth Southgate was the highest paid international manager in the world. If the England FA came along and topped that for Eddie Howe because they really wanted him for the long term, I mean, lads, you're basically part-time working.
You couldn't begrudge him.
No, you couldn't.
You couldn't. And it would be, you know, obviously it's tough being the England manager, the scrutiny, everything goes with it. But at the same time, it would be a lot less pressure, a lot less commitment. We know Eddie Howe gets up at 5 a.m. and then he goes home at 9 p.m. If Eddie Howe wanted a break, what a way to take. Not a break, right? It's a tough job, but it would be a lot less, using a lot less of his work and energy and mental, you know, strain. And I think everyone needs a break at some point. It would be hard to turn them down if you're Eddie Howe, especially if they threw a big bag of money and Jason Tindall's eyes and ears would perk up and think, what kind of sunbeds do they have down at Wembley that I can spend half the day in, lads?
Wow.
Now, thoughts, Alan Williamson, thoughts on that one?
Look, if it happened and he went to England, I wouldn't begrudge it. I constantly have one of my mates saying that Eddie Howe's going to be sacked by Christmas, and on Stevens' day this year, I got a message off him.
Well, should they think Man United fans think he's going to join them this week?
Yeah.
Come here. I've already had that argument with one of Man United fans today. He's like, I think he'd take the job. I was like, I think you're smoking crack, so give it up. But yeah, I had it on Stevens' day this year. I got a message off my mate Nathan, and he was like, Operation Eddie Howe sacked by Xmas 2026 begins today. And I was like, I actually don't like you. I don't think he'd be sacked or anything like that. But if he did go to England, I wouldn't begrudge him the move. It's been his dream job. He's talked about it a couple of times. It doesn't come available all that often.
Mm-hmm.
As you said, it'll come available after the World Cup. And I do think it could be a match made in heaven. And I also don't think Newcastle would stand in their way. I think we'd see it as an opportunity to go, right, well, the compensation will have to be paid to us rather than us having to pay it if we wanted to get rid of him. And we can go out and get ourselves a Thomas Tuchel, Zinedine Zidane, using them as examples. I don't know who they'd go out and get, but go out and get like a really world-class name, as we keep being touted for.
Look, Unai Emery comes to Newcastle in August next year, and Eddie Howe joins the England setup. That's not me saying. I'm just saying that's based off what Paul just said. We'd go and get Unai Emery, who should have taken the job in the first place.
Why would Unai Emery leave Villa?
Because we throw loads of money at him and give him a massive budget.
He's
telling me he has free reign. He has
a big budget. He has free reign. He has.
We're better. We're a bigger club than Aston Villa.
They're third in the league at the minute.
Nah, that's just
take off your Newcastle glasses.
It's a glitch in the matrix. It's a glitch in the matrix. Look at it.
The one thing as well with Unai Emery is, I believe, and I could be wrong, but I believe it's not. You don't just have to hire Emery. He has an entourage of staff.
So does Howe.
So does. I don't think it's as many. I think, like, I've heard this fella has like data analysts and medical guys and even a sporting director. Like, they all have to go with him. So it's a big investment, I would say. So it depends if we want to spend that kind of money. But if England pay Newcastle a lot of compensation to get Eddie Howe out, and I'm in no way wanting to see this. I'm just kind of thinking, after 4 or 5 years that have been grueling, it's intense. You know, managers don't stick around as long. I think Eddie Howe is the 3rd longest serving manager in the Premier League behind Arteta and Guardiola, I think. So, it would be the England thing that gets him out. I don't think he would walk for nothing. But I think if the England thing came along, I mean, he would have earned it. But also, maybe timing-wise, it might suit him better than it did last time around.
But look, just on the predictions, right? And again, like, you've done two, right? So just really quickly, right? Very quick fire, very, very quickly. Where do we finish in the Premier League by the end of the season? I'm going to go first. 5th.
That was my next prediction. Mine was 5th as well.
Paul?
Well, let's finish with league table predictions, and then we'll move on. I think Chris has a little quiz for us before we have a brief chat about Leeds and meetups. Ooh, where do we finish in the league? I'm looking at the table here. Fuck, it doesn't help to look at it. It actually makes it worse. I think we finish 6th.
Sixth.
I think we just squeaked the Champions League again with 5th.
I mean, to be fair, right? The positive here is that the team in 5th and the team in 6th both sacked their managers in the last 4 days.
I think they're going to drop like stones.
They might drop like stones, and that would be a huge positive. And then suddenly it's Brentford and Sunderland that are the ones that are competing with. So that is the saving grace. But if you were to ask me in 3 weeks, 2 weeks even, having played Leeds and having played Bournemouth and having gone on this little run before we get to that tougher run of games, maybe I'd feel differently. But yeah, we need to go on a hell of a run. Right. That's our predictions wrapped up. Listeners, viewers, let us know your thoughts in the comments. What are your own predictions? How wacky are ours? And which ones do you think might actually come true? And more importantly, which ones won't? Because we'll be able to reflect back a year from now and hang our heads in shame as we've already done at the start of the show. Right, before we wrap up, we'll have a quick chat about Leeds and the meetup. But Krisho, I believe you prepared a little quiz for us in an effort to just not have to participate in a quiz yourself.
That's all that was.
I was just thinking, like, going forward, right? Like, I keep losing, right? And it's really not good for my self-esteem. But it losing all the time. So I was just thinking, well, how about I be the quiz guy and then put you guys against each other?
Alan, like I've offered him pretty much for the last 50 episodes if he wants to do the quiz master because he keeps losing.
Yeah.
Right. Well, look, right. We've been going on about wingers all the last couple of podcasts and about assists and about link up play and who's going to score our goals, and we need more goals from midfield and yada yada yada. Right. So just this quiz is about assists. Okay. All right. This quiz is about assists. Right. So Newcastle United's all-time Premier League assist.
Ooh.
Okay. Right. So there is
first.
Let me see, right? So we won't obviously we can't do all of them, right? But 14 players have got 15 or more.
Okay, let's do that.
Sorry, 15. Sorry, 15 players. 15 players have gone 15 or more in
and
the whole of the
Premier League era.
Yes, the Premier League era. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So all of these players, you'd well know them. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to give you a point for each one that you give me. So remember now, we're talking about 15 assists or over, right? Because there's too many below that, right? So 15 assists and over. And I will start with Alan.
I'm going to go just based purely off longevity and hope that he did it. Alan Shearer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alan. Okay. Yes, Alan Shearer.
I'll go with Solano.
Yes,
he's a leading assister, isn't he? Yeah,
leading assist with 54. Alan Shearer had 30, by the way. Alan Shearer had 36, by the way.
Okay.
Jacob Murphy got like 13 last season, so if he's not on the list, there's something seriously wrong.
Jacob Murphy, Alan, is 4th all time with 29.
Jesus. Okay, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, neither was. That's insane, right?
Yeah.
Some numbers.
I knew Murphy would be on it. I was going to hold him for a while, thinking he'd come back far. Let's go with Rob Lee.
Rob Lee is number 3 on the all-time list with 31. 2 all. Well done, gentlemen.
Laurent Robert.
Yeah, Laurent Robert is number 5, Al. The same as...
we're going down the list. We're doing well.
Same as Jacob Murphy on 29.
Alan, that's a bad thing because it's going to get a lot. Yeah. I'm going to go with the Mackham Slayer, Shola Amiobi.
Yeah, he was on my little list.
Shola Amiobi is 10th on the list with 20 goal assists.
I'm going to go with someone who should have him. Anthony Gordon.
Anthony Gordon, Al, just with 16.
Ooh.
4-3.
Right, staying current, I'm going to go Kieran Trippier.
Kieran Trippier, very good. The same as, let's see here, Kieran Trippier. Same as Shola Amiobi with 20 goal assists.
Bosh.
4 all.
Kieran Dyer.
Yes, Al. 26.
Wowza.
26 goal assists. 6th on the all-time list. One of our favorite players, Paul.
But we'll come back to that. I'll go with Peter Beardsley.
Yes, Peter Beardsley.
That's
yes,
who I
26.
thought you were talking about.
20. That's it.
Yeah.
I thought that was our favorite player, or one of our favorite players.
He has a couple this season already, so he'd want to be on this list with more than 15. Bruno G.
Bruno G, yes, Al, with 22 goal assists in his career.
To be honest, yeah.
6'5" to Alan. Now we're getting tasty now, lads. Now we're getting into tasty.
Yeah, now it's getting interesting. Huh.
One of Al's favorite players, Paul. Lol, not.
One of Al's favorite players. Alan's only favorite player is Mike Williamson.
I know, but one of Al's favorite players, not.
I'm going with longevity on Miggy Almiron.
Miggy Almiron, I am afraid, is not there.
Oh, Premier League assists, because he was in the Championship at least once. Oh, shite. Yeah.
Based off him taking free kicks and corners and everything for his Matt Ritchie.
Well, yes, Alan. Yes, Alan. Matt Ritchie with 18 goal assists. It is now
one more.
7-5 to Alan. You've got
Alan is
racing
ahead.
2, 3, 4, 5 left.
5 players left.
There's
probably loads that are just roaring at us. I keep thinking of players, but then I'm like, they weren't there that long. Do you know, like Ginola?
He was only 2 years, but he couldn't have done it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no way he's hit 15 in 2 years. I just don't think he would hit 15 in 2 years. Who was assisting Shearer? Let's go Craig Bellamy.
Hells bells.
Craig Bellamy. Unfortunately not. He's got 13, Paul. But
Did he not get 10 assists in one season one year when we were first at Christmas?
Yeah, but he's only got 13 in his whole career at Newcastle. So it's not from the 15 above.
I'm hemming and hawing between two. And I'm gonna go with St. Maximin.
It's your favorite. It's your favorite player, Al. It's your favorite player. Yes,
I was going to say Alan St. Maximin next, you fucker.
18 goal assists for Newcastle United.
He was the only player that could play football for us during that period. So I'm not actually surprised. Yeah,
all Callum Wilson's goals were assisted by Alan St. Maximin.
So you've got 4 players left, and it's maybe a little bit old school. That's all I'll give you. One of them I loved very much. So there's 4 players, lads, and
I think I've won.
Go for it.
I'm just like, how far back are we going here? Like 96,
We're
97,
going back.
I'm going to go one. I'm going to go Gary Speed. Sorry, did I jump ahead? Sorry,
No. It was your goal, Paul. Gary Speed, yes. Yes. He got 16 goal assists.
Come on, Gary Speed.
It's 8-6 to Alan.
Musa Sissoko.
That's the boy. Musa Sissoko with 15 goals.
15 on the nose as well. That's a good shout.
Nice.
So there's
that has to be everyone, is it?
That's 2 left, everybody. 2 left. And we're going back to 93, 94, 94, 95, 95, 96. Those 3 years.
I think I know one of them then by you saying that.
I mean, one of them was the top guy in this list is Nobby Solano. Who did we have back then that was very much like
the only way I can go with that is like Rule Fox or something. But
that is Rule Fox.
Oh, what a shout.
There you go. Rule Fox with 15 goals.
He was the only one I had from that era in my head. Like, wow.
He only played 58 matches and he got 15 goal assists.
I had a video of him playing football for Newcastle. It was unreal. It was like a season review from when I was a kid. My last one, it's based off the fact that he scored like 70 goals in like 70 games for us. It's Andy Cole.
It is Andy Cole, Al.
Wow.
With 16 assists, goal assists. So Al, well done. Some names for everybody, all of our Irish mags. Just a little bit under the line. That's all of them.
Jesus, we did really well there.
just a little bit under the line was Charles Nzogbia, Faustino Esprilla, Les Ferdinand, Keith Gillespie, John Joe Shelby, Joey Barton with 13, David Ginola with 12. So yeah, that's where we are, gentlemen.
Raging that Craig Bellamy didn't get into it. He's now on my list of enemies.
It's mental to say if you have one good season of assists for us, you go into our all-time assist list.
It's not insane.
Jacob Murphy here.
Yeah.
Matt Ritchie's doing well, isn't he? He came 12th in the all-time.
Again, longevity, I think, as well. He was there for a long time.
So everybody,
quiz show.
Alan wins the first quiz show quiz of 2026, 10-7. So congratulations, Alan.
I pulled them out of my arse there. Thank you.
Fair play. I'm coming for you, Alan. Chris Show, we'll expect another quiz next week and every week 100%. For 2026. No pressure.
100%. No problem.
Right, lads. Let's wrap up quickly because we're on the hour mark with this upcoming game. 24 hours time, we will be halfway through Newcastle United against Leeds United at St. James's Park in the Premier League. Potentially, if we win, it'll be our third on the bounce.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't need to go into too much detail, but what I'd like to get is your predictions. And then will it be basically largely the same, or what do you think would be the most fundamental change by Eddie Howe to see us win this match? Alan, we'll let you go first and give Chris Shaw a break after his quiz duties.
We are going to win the match, but it's not going to be as easy as some people are thinking. Leeds are on a mental run of form. I think they're unbeaten in like 9 or something like that.
Draws,
a lot of draws, but they've drawn with Chelsea. I think they lost to City, Liverpool. They've played really, really good sides. I think we'll just have enough. But prediction-wise, I think we see Tino Livramento start at right back, but Lewis Miley start in centre midfield instead of Tonali.
I actually think the exact same.
But I also think Vissa gets dropped. Not dropped.
I also
managed for Voltemada. And I think we see Barnes, Gordon, Voltemada.
Yeah. Barnes on the right, yeah. Yep.
I actually think the exact same. I was like, I think Voltemada starts this game. I also think it suits him because Leeds are a big old physical side. And also
we also have to manage minutes,
Yeah, and I think that there's something up with Tonali. We can't really tell what it is. He didn't seem happy coming off. But
I heard from my sources of another podcast, he had COVID during pre-season. And it has developed into long COVID. Yes, he has long COVID.
I thought he had it even more recently than that, like in one of the breaks or something.
So that's what I have heard. So he could be dealing with COVID. And I know someone who's had long COVID, and they were a very, very respected athlete. They ain't anymore.
I know somebody who has it now, and they as a nurse, and they didn't get obviously the vaccinations before, whatever, and they still have it now, and it affects them every single day.
Yeah,
that's not good.
Fingers crossed it's not that, or if it is that you can kind of get over it. I'm sure he'll get the best treatment possible, but he hasn't been himself, and his game is largely based on his ability to outrun everyone else and to be in all the different places at once, as well as being a class footballer. But if there's a physical and or mental fatigue there, you can see that happening. So concern, all right. I still think he's one of the best players at the club, so we want to see him get back to his very best.
Absolutely.
But it's not a wild prediction. I think similar, whether it's rest or managing minutes or form, I wouldn't be surprised if exactly what you said happens. And plus, Eddie Howe would be more likely to do it now that Joe Linton's back. And he had a very good game at the weekend. Alan, what's your score prediction?
2-0, but not a comfortable 2-0. We get a second goal.
Basically, just like the last game.
I think we'll score early enough, as in like 15, 20 minutes we'd be 1-0 up. It'll be both sides dinging off each other, and we'll kill the game off in the 85th minute when they are going hell for leather for it.
Chris Shaw, what's your prediction?
Harvey Barnes scored an amazing goal, and we bet West Ham 4-3. Do you remember that?
I do.
That's exactly how this game is going to go. It's going to be
4-3. The last thing we need on a Wednesday night.
4-3.
I really don't need that.
4-3 to Newcastle. Barnes or Wissa, I think, is going to score in the 85th, 86th, 87th minute. And it's going to be like sensational. St. James's Park literally explodes. And it's going to be a whew, because Leeds will be 3-1 up at halftime.
Oh, for fuck's sake, no.
Jeez.
Sorry about that, everybody.
No.
Sorry about that.
Well, that's a hell of a way to end the podcast.
Yeah.
I'll try to bring it around. I think that we'll... I can't see there being loads of goals because it's going to be freezing cold up there. I heard that north of England is very, very cold, even colder than the weekend. So I do think we go ahead early, in terms of like 1 goal ahead. But I think that we won't actually score a second until into the second half. And then the most obvious thing in the world is going to happen. Dominic Calvert is going to score, and everyone's going to go, we should have signed him because he's now scored 7 games in a row. And then I think we make it 3-1 when Wissa comes on for Voltamati.
Here's another one. The reason why we didn't sign Dominic Calvert-Lewin because we're signing Callum Wilson for free in January. All right, everybody. Good night. Good night, everybody.
Bringing him back. He's just been
been released from West Ham. Yeah,
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like he's walking back up to Newcastle. No, yeah. That's so 3-1 to Newcastle, 2-0 to Newcastle, and 4-3 to Newcastle. A win is predicted.
A win all around. Well, we take a win in any shape or form, I think, and give us 3 wins on the bounce. These are games we should be winning when you look
above Sunderland as well. Everybody above Sunderland.
Yeah.
That'll drive us 2 points ahead of Sunderland.
And we have we have to take advantage of all these home games in a row as well, because Palace, Leeds, Bournemouth, the whole lot. So, right, let's see what happens, listeners. If you're looking for somewhere to watch the game, Alan Williamson will be hopefully leading the party in the Baker Street Bar.
I should be, depending on how much work I get done tomorrow. But yeah, we will be in the Irish Mags will be in Bleecker Street Bar from 7 p.m. ish. I always love saying ish because I'm never on time and I'm always late. I'll be late to my own funeral, don't worry. So yeah, Bleecker Street Bar from 7 p.m. onwards. We're live on Sky Sports Cricket, in case anyone doesn't know. Sky Sports Cricket is the game.
We were tennis last week and now we're cricket. I don't know if that's an upgrade or a downgrade, but
having a clue. But yeah, we will be in the Bleecker. If you're anywhere near Dublin, pop in, say hello, give out. We love watching the match all together and giving out stink about whatever's going on. So yeah, pop in, say hello.
There's always something to complain about, but not here because we're all just a big ton of positivity until Chris Show comes at us hard.
Yes.
Oh man.
Right. As I said, what a way to finish the podcast. That brings episode 108 to a close. Thank you, everybody, for listening, dialing in. Everyone who tuned in at any point in 2025, stick with us for 2026 because we just can't
thanks
stop.
very much.
And make sure you are liking and following and subscribing and all of the above. Thank you, Alan and Chris Show, for joining me this week.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Paul. Yes, thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Paul. I can't start thanking myself, lads, just to get through the
episode. We'll thank you. Yeah, we'll thank you. Thanks, Paul.
After we press stop, I just give myself a pat on the back and say that was great, Paul.
So lonely, Paul. So lonely.
It's a tough life I lead. There'll be no pat on the back for my predictions from last year, anyway. That's for sure, or this year, for that matter. We'll be back for more Irish Madness next week. So until then, how are the lads? Slán go fóill, and we'll see you all very soon. Say goodbye, gentlemen.
Slán a bhaile.
Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck.